Hello everyone, my name is Jill, and I'm 30 years old. Today, I want to share my story with you. A story about love, heartbreak, struggle, and hope. Right now, I'm a single mother raising my little daughter on my own. The man I once believed would spend the rest of his life with me chose to walk away, leaving me and our child behind. Since that day, it has been just the two of us, relying on each other to get through every challenge life has thrown our way. Life has never been easy for us. I work hard every single day, but my income is still quite low compared to the cost of living in Vietnam. There have been countless times when I felt overwhelmed by financial pressure, exhausted from carrying every responsibility alone, and unsure of how I would make it through another month. Yet no matter how difficult life became, I never allowed myself to give up. Whenever I felt like I was reaching my limit, I would look at my daughter. Her smile, her tiny hands reaching for me, and the way she calls me Mom remind me why I have to keep going. She's the reason I wake up every morning and the strength that carries me through even my darkest days. I truly believe that as long as I continue to work hard, keep learning, and never stop trying, life will eventually get better. My greatest dream is not to become rich overnight. I simply want to earn enough to give my daughter a safe, happy, and comfortable life, a childhood filled with love, even if I can't give her everything money can buy. Many people see me today as an ordinary woman, a mother who goes to work every day and comes home to take care of her child. But what they don't see are the countless tears, sleepless nights, and painful moments that shaped the person I have become. Behind every smile is a story. Behind every "I'm fine" is a battle that no one else can see. Before I found the strength to smile again, I had to go through some of the hardest years of my life. There were days when I questioned everything. There were nights when I cried myself to sleep, wondering whether I was strong enough to keep moving forward. But somehow, one day at a time, I did. And today, I want to tell you how I survived those difficult years, how I learned to stand back up after life knocked me down, and how one little girl became the reason I never stopped fighting. This is my story. There was a time in my life when every single day felt like an uphill battle. I woke up before the sun came up, quietly getting ready for work while my daughter was still sleeping. Every morning, I looked at her peaceful little face before leaving home, silently promising myself that no matter how hard the day would be, I had to keep going for her. My job wasn't glamorous. It wasn't the kind of job that paid well or offered a comfortable life. I worked long hours, doing whatever I could just to earn enough money to survive. Every month when I received my paycheck, I already knew exactly where every dollar would go. Rent, electricity, water, food, milk for my daughter, school expenses, transportation. And then there were always unexpected costs whenever she got sick or something needed to be replaced. By the end of the month, there was almost nothing left. Sometimes I would sit alone with a notebook, writing down every single expense over and over again, hoping I had forgotten a little bit of money somewhere. But the numbers never changed. I slowly realized that earning money was difficult. But making a small income support two people was even harder. There were days when I worked until my entire body felt exhausted. My feet hurt from standing all day. My back ached. Sometimes I skipped lunch just to save a little extra money. Yet when I finally got home, my day wasn't over. I still had to cook dinner, wash the clothes, clean the house, help my daughter with everything she needed. Only after she had fallen asleep could I finally sit down and rest. Those quiet nights were often the hardest. The house became silent. The world seemed to slow down. And for the first time all day, I allowed myself to feel tired. Sometimes I stared at the ceiling for hours. Sometimes tears rolled down my face without making a sound. I wasn't crying because I wanted people to feel sorry for me. I cried because I felt completely overwhelmed. There are moments when I ask myself, how much longer can I do this? Am I really strong enough to keep going? I didn't always have the answers. There were nights when fear filled my heart. Fear that I might lose my job. Fear that I wouldn't have enough money to pay the bills. Fear that I wouldn't be able to give my daughter the life she deserved. But no matter how hopeless I felt the night before, the next morning always came. The alarm clock rang. The sun rose, and I got up again. I washed my face, put on my work clothes, forced a smile, and stepped out the door to face another day. People often saw me smiling. What they didn't see was how much pain that smile was hiding. I learned to hide my sadness because I didn't want my daughter to worry. Children deserve happiness. They shouldn't have to carry the weight of their parents' struggles. So every day, I did my best to smile for her, even when my heart felt broken, even when I was exhausted, even when I wanted nothing more than to lie down and cry. Looking back now, I realize those difficult years changed me forever. They taught me patience. They taught me resilience. Most importantly, they taught me that even when life feels impossible, as long as you keep taking one step forward, you are still moving toward a better tomorrow. If there was one person who gave me the strength to keep going, it was my daughter. She was still too young to understand why her mother was always busy. She didn't know why I often wore the same clothes for months, while buying new clothes for her always made me smile. She didn't know why I sometimes looked worried after paying the bills. To her, I was simply Mom, the person who hugged her every night, the person who kissed her forehead before she fell asleep, the person who promised that everything would be okay. I remember one day we were walking through a small store. She stopped in front of a beautiful toy and looked at it with sparkling eyes. She didn't cry. She didn't throw a tantrum. She simply looked at me and softly said, "Mom, I really like this." At that moment, my heart broke. The toy wasn't expensive for many people, but for me, every dollar mattered. I smiled and gently told her, "Maybe next month, sweetheart. Mom will buy it for you next month." She looked at me for a few seconds. Then she smiled, held my hand, and said, "Okay, Mom." That simple answer nearly brought me to tears. Children don't always need expensive gifts. Sometimes all they want is love. From that day on, I promised myself something. Even if I couldn't give my daughter a wealthy childhood, I would make sure she grew up surrounded by love. Whenever I had a day off, I tried to spend every minute with her. We didn't go to fancy amusement parks. We didn't stay in luxury hotels. Instead, we visited the local park. We watched the sunset together. We shared a simple ice cream. We laughed at silly little things. Those moments cost almost nothing, yet they became some of the happiest memories of my life. Being a single mother taught me lessons that no school ever could. I learned how to save every penny. I learned how to fix small things around the house by myself. I learned how to stay strong, even when I felt completely broken inside. Most importantly, I learned how to be both a mother and a father. There were nights when my daughter became sick with a high fever. I stayed awake all night, holding her in my arms. Every few minutes I checked her temperature. I prayed over and over again for her to get better. Watching your child suffer is one of the most painful feelings a parent can experience. If I could have taken her pain away and carried it myself, I would have done it without hesitation. Ironically, there were days when I was sick too. My body begged for rest, but I couldn't afford to stop working. Missing even a single day meant earning less money. So I took medicine, forced myself out of bed, and went to work anyway. Sometimes people would ask me, "How do you stay so strong?" The truth is, I didn't always feel strong. There were many days when I felt scared. Many days when I wanted someone to tell me everything would be okay. But life didn't give me that choice. When you're the only parent your child can depend on, giving up is no longer an option. Every time my daughter wrapped her little arms around me and whispered, "I love you, Mommy," I felt all my exhaustion disappear. In that moment, I remembered why I kept fighting, not for myself, but for her. She became my reason to believe that tomorrow could be better than today. And every small step I took, every sacrifice I made, every tear I cried, was all for the little girl who calls me Mom. Today, my life is still not perfect. I still work hard every day, and I still have to be careful with every dollar I spend. But one thing has changed. I'm no longer the woman who believed she couldn't survive. Life has made me stronger. Every hardship has taught me to be brave. Every challenge has helped me grow. When I look at my daughter, I see the reason I never gave up. She is my greatest blessing and my biggest motivation. I still dream of giving her a better future, a safe home, a good education, and a life filled with happiness. I know the road ahead won't always be easy. There will be more challenges, but I'm no longer afraid, because we've already overcome so much together. To anyone listening to my story, if you're going through a difficult time, please don't give up. No matter how hard life feels today, tomorrow can always be better. Keep believing. Keep moving forward, one small step at a time. As for me, I'll continue working hard and doing everything I can to give my daughter the life she deserves. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it reminds you that true strength isn't about never falling. It's about getting back up every time life knocks you down. And no matter what happens, I will keep moving forward. For myself, for my daughter, and for the future we both deserve.
Ngon không? ได้